So beautiful.
Are we moving?
So weird. The effect's not quite the same on film. So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone that's lost in the woods. You'll say a prayer.
Oklahoma people, lovely Ella and Jerry too. In the mountains for Bigfoot, what they're telling you. Yeah, in the mountains for Bigfoot, what they're telling you. When it comes to Bigfoot, no one does it better with Jerry and Ella. Yeah, we're doing it together. Yeah, Ella and Jerry, no one does it better when it comes to Bigfoot. Yeah, we're doing it together. Oklahoma people, lovely Ella and Jerry too. In the mountains for Bigfoot, what they're telling you. Yeah, in the mountains for Bigfoot, what they're telling you. Take us to the mountains, yeah, we're ready for it. Ready for the knowledge, so you better go for it. Take us to the mountains, yeah, we're ready for it. Ready for the knowledge, so you better go for it. Oklahoma people, lovely Ella and Jerry too. In the mountains for Bigfoot, what they're telling you. Yeah, in the mountains for Bigfoot, what they're telling you. When it comes to Bigfoot, no one does it better with Jerry and Ella. Yeah, we're doing it together. Yeah, Ella and Jerry, no one does it better when it comes to Bigfoot. Yeah, we're doing it together. Take us to the mountains, yeah, we're ready for it. Ready for the knowledge, so you better go for it. Take us to the mountains, yeah, we're ready for it. Ready for the knowledge, so you better go for it.
First Peter 5:8. Be alert and of sober mind, for your enemy the devil prowls around. I'm going between two different versions. Prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Father, we thank you that you keep us alert, that you keep us vigilant, that you keep us protected, that you give us the warnings that you do. We thank you for the people that are here. We thank you for the people that are willing to learn. We thank you for the things that you teach us every day. We thank you that you give us the proper words so that we can teach others, and that we're not just wasting our time here, because we know that you gave each of us a purpose. And we thank you for keeping us on the correct path. We love you, Lord. Let our words always be pleasing to you. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Yeshua, amen. Hello, everyone.
We have 4 Facebook group pages you can check out if you want to get more information. We share the information over on the Facebook group pages, and sometimes you get more information over there. First, we have Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas, which is also the name of our documentary DVD. The Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Son Center and Database. The Predator, Bigfoot, and the Spiritual Warrior's Path, and Lead Tracker E's Facebook group page. Also, Lead Tracker E's YouTube channel changed names as this one has. Lead Tracker E's channel is called Bigfoot Predators and Spiritual Warfare. This channel has been changed also to Sasquatch Choctaw Tracking. So make sure you like and subscribe and share that with your friends. We have a few books out. This is The Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. A very, 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 very important book to have. It has, and if you've had this book or read this book, we have been notified that there are some people that we didn't know had this book, and they're using it as a manual to go over it. They feel safer in the woods. They know what they're looking for now. Other people have called it their manual. You know, they go to this book, and some people just continue to read it over and over and over because of the information, and they are much safer. It also has saved lives, and it will save more lives if people get the book and read it and use everything that is in that book. Also, another book that we have. Oh, actually, hold on. This book has been translated into the Spanish version. So our Spanish-speaking friends will have the same knowledge and also be safe out there. It is titled Pai Grande, El Depredador y el Sendero del Guerrero Espiritual. It's a Spanish version. It's a great book with great reviews on that also. It's helped a lot of our Spanish-speaking friends all the way to Argentina, I believe. All the way to Argentina. That book has traveled, and they're picking up the signs, and they're seeing that there are things going on even there. So it's worldwide, so everyone would need this book, especially if you've got children, grandchildren. Get the book, learn it. If you're a hunter, camper, fisherman, you go canoeing, kayaking, get the book, because we do talk about things like that in there. Also, one of the newest, but not the newest, this is the Bigfoot Predators. It's Bigfoot Gifters. It's a chapter from the book that we're working on, but we needed to get this book out as quickly as possible, this chapter out, to share the information that no one else has put out there about Bigfoot gifting or gifting a Bigfoot, and everything that comes with that. It's not a game. It's not for fun. But this book has also been translated into the Spanish version, which is titled Las Ofrendas de Pai Grande, or the offering to the Bigfoot, just like the Bigfoot Gifters. It's not a game, like we're saying. If you know someone who's gifting, or if you know someone who's telling you the gift, or, you know, there's so many people. If you call somebody to, you know, help you out, if they don't like to not, this person really doesn't know what they're doing. But as a further it's going to go, I can almost guarantee that they're going to say, you know, you should make an offering, or you should try to talk to them, or you should try to mind speak with them. It's a pattern that a lot of people who don't understand what's going on does. And if they come to you and they've said that and offered you, or you know, like, let's use microphones, let's try to get contact, let's try to see, you know, you got to watch those people, because they're going to get you into some deep trouble as far as gifting a Bigfoot, a predator, a big predator.
We don't even want you whooping and tree knocking.
No. The newest book that we have out, before this next one that we're going to put out, this one is a children's book. This is called Monster Spotters.
Hello.
We shall make sure we can. Can they hear us?
Can you not hear us? He says he can't see or hear. Ask if everyone else can see.
Can anybody else see us? Can anybody see us?
Okay,
Let me
we're
see.
looking in the chat.
We are live at 17:25, 15 people. We want to make sure everybody, can y'all see us? See us?
See and hear well. I think it's on your end, War Chief.
Yeah, JR
I
says
think
see
it's
and
on
hear
your
well.
end, War Chief, because
Both visual and sound, tracker 17. Yeah. Bernard, Lorna, yeah.
get back out and get back in, I guess.
Try it again.
Yeah, because that's weird. Okay. In the chat, people are saying that they can see and hear.
Yeah, Bernard says loud and clear and see. And Deborah says, there you are.
Okay, thank you, War Chief. Not long. We were running late.
Yeah, well, it's only about 17
We're
minutes.
still in.
18.
We're still talking about the books. We're just at Monster Spotters. Okay.
Which are great books. Well, there. So,
That was War Chief. He's not getting any. He said he can't see or hear us.
And they're saying, War Chief, hard reset. The issue should resolve. Yeah.
If you can see that.
So let's get back to the end. So this book is a children's book. Very, 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 very important book, as they all are. But this one helps you to explain to children with good visuals. The artwork is superb. The illustration, it's got a rhyming sequence so the children can remember easier. If they see this, that rhyme is going to come in their head, and they're going to know, okay, it's time to go and tell my parents, tell my grandparents. Also, they'll say, I'm not going to let my dogs out there. I'm not going to play out there. I'm sure not going to go into the woods if I see these signs out there.
And even
Very important book.
Yeah, even the ones that can't read, the illustrations are detailed enough that they should be able to get the gist of it.
Yeah. So we gave one to I don't know if he's homeless or not, but a Spanish-speaking person who we never talked to or anything. We just left a book there. We knew he was there, but there were predator blinds all over that place, and he was out there camping. So Lee Tracker Reed left a book with him. So even if you can't read the English, you can still see the illustration so detailed that you'll know that these things are out there and what to look for.
And
Very important book.
Actually, since we left the book, he was gone. About 2 days later, he was gone.
Yeah. So whenever
he'd
you
been
open that
staying in the
book
park.
and you look at those things, you look around and you see that you got all these things around you. Like Lee Tracker, he said he left about 2 days after that. It's time to move on because that was not a safe place, and that's when Lee Tracker left the book with them. Also tonight, fair use.
I'm glad you remember that.
This is a teaching tool, a teaching night, where we do correct all the things wrong that people do. And a lot of these people who, some people call other people for help, or some people may see them on a YouTube channel and say, hey, let me call this guy, maybe he knows something. More times than not, he doesn't know something, or she doesn't know something. And they're going to get you into more situations than get you out of.
A lot of people know just enough to get themselves into trouble, or you.
Yeah. And the things that, because we hear people say, try gifting, and that's when we got that book out as quickly as possible. Don't do that. How about whooping? How about trying to, catch it on game cams? And you're not going to catch them on game cams unless it's just an accident. They can see that red powered battery operated night vision camera.
They can hear.
Yeah. And if you have a night vision goggles and a cam, a trail cam, set it up there in the dark, go out there at nighttime and look with your night vision, and you're going to see that red box glowing. They see that box too. They'll throw something in front of it, it'll set off, or they'll run a coyote in front of it, they'll run a deer in front of it, just to check to make sure that thing's there, and then they'll go around it.
And to see how far out that flash goes.
Yep. Now when they're doing the deer or the pig or whatever, if they got it out there to check that webcam, see if it's still running, they're in the dark. I mean, you can almost see all the eyes in the dark past that light. So when people tell you to do that, it's pretty much useless to try that. But I mean, there are techniques that you can use that, but we use them to deter. We know that they can see that light. We know they know the radius. So we set cameras up so they stay out of that radius, away from the house, away from your pets. We use those cams just to deter. If they get, fur, because we have got glimpses, but that's about all we've got. So, I mean, we've got photos, we've got pictures and video of these things, but those trail cams, they can see that red glowing box at night strapped to a tree or, someplace. But again, this is a teaching tool is what we're doing, fair use. Just to let everybody know that tonight is about not criticism, but constructive correcting, I guess you would say. So many channels do so many things wrong. So many people call the wrong people. And even if somebody calls the right people and don't do what the people are trying to help them, if they don't do what needs to be done, it's kind of useless, calling people in.
Or it can make matters worse.
Yeah, make matters worse.
That's a good thing about the book, because it can go anywhere. It can get anywhere. And then everybody's got that information, their guidebook right there in their hands at any time. We haven't come across any situation in any of these Watching Wednesdays that hasn't been addressed in this book.
Yeah, and yeah, every Watcher Wednesday we can say, well, that's on page, that's in chapter.
In the book.
They're doing this.
We used to say it's in the DVD.
Yeah, we used to have signs. It's in the DVD, because we were showing where to go, what it's going to look like, where the caves are, where you're going to find their blinds. But even tonight, War Tracker or War Chief Tracker C sent us this video to look at, but he sent it out to us
Like a week ago.
about 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. And we just had the opportunity to watch it.
Yeah, so we called him up and says, "Is this the video?" He said, "Yeah." All right.
He said, "Try not to break your bell."
Yeah.
This is the bell we ring when we hear something wrong.
When we hear something wrong, we're going to ring
Or
that
BS bell.
or BS bell. So let's get to the comments, and then we
Yes.
can get started.
And that song in the beginning,
Oh yeah.
Tanya Marquez had that song created for us, and Jerry put the photos to it and made the video out of it. So that's what that was, that second song. It was a catchy song. I like it.
Wonderful. I liked it.
Okay, we're gonna go through comments now.
All right. Tracker Lorna, she's number one again, 652.
Tracker Lorna.
She's saying hello. Deborah's right on those heels tonight.
Hey Deborah, how you doing?
All right,
Deborah's the
Deborah.
reason we have no commercials tonight when we watch this.
Yep,
Thank you.
because of her family
Family plan.
family plan. Tracker Lorna says, hi, Deborah Mueller. Deborah Mueller says, I'm early, but I'm still working. She says, still have time. All right. And Tracker Lorna.
Tracker
Wow.
Lorna sent the super sticker. Thank you,
Thank
Tracker
you
Lorna.
so
We'll be
much.
putting that up for our get together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, we will. Sleeping Bear, David Paul. Sleeping Bear wants to say,
Osio.
Osio. Be careful out there.
Thank you, Sleeping Bear.
All right.
You too.
New name.
Yakoki.
All right. Everybody saying hi to Sleeping Bear. Gray Bear. All right, Gray
Hey,
Bear.
Graybeard.
This is Hall.
Glad to have another Watching Wednesday. We'll be back in a few.
All right.
Yeah, we were running late.
Yeah.
Tracker Lorna saying hi to Graybeard, and she sent 2 more super stickers.
There's one. And
Thank you,
then
Tracker
here is
Lorna.
another one. Wow.
She's
Where is?
taking care of us when we have our conference. She wants to make sure everybody eats.
Yeah. And
And we appreciate you.
the trackers are
Tracker
getting
Lorna.
ready. The trackers
Yeah,
are getting
they're all
ready.
so excited.
There's going to be just so much fun when the trackers get together. We get to sit down and really talk with each other and share stories and train together, because it's not just a time that we get to spend together. It's a time that we get to also train together as a team, go over tactics, weaponry, tracking, things like that, mapping, finding
A lot
locations.
of emphasis this year on mapping.
Yeah, we've got a radio operator who's going to be here calling out the coordinates. We got medical, some people who are going to be helping out with the medical.
So it's
We
where our
won't need-
individual teams will
Yeah.
get together.
We won't need any medical, but we'll have some nurses here who are certified, who's been through this. So
They're ready.
we've got a great
Yeah,
team.
we have 4 trackers that are nurses.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and we got some very tough men. We got some very tough women. We've got, and we got one of the brightest trackers we ever met.
Oh yeah.
And
She's really short though.
she's really short though. That's the only problem.
She's a genius. She's a tiny
A
genius.
tiny genius. She's really short though.
Still growing.
She's the shortest one in the bunch, isn't she?
We don't know. I don't know. Truth Walker's pretty short.
No, she's got to be so short.
We don't know. Not
I
really.
don't know.
Not
We'll
really.
find out. We'll find out.
War Chief Tracker C says, Halito, Osio, and Ola, Jerry Leadhorse, Choctaw Williams, Lead Tracker E, Warrior Storm, and Shadow Trackers and friends.
All right. I guess he blanked out and came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all before we even got the screen up.
Okay.
So we always go through the comments because they mean enough to you to write. It means enough to us to read them out. And there are some who are just driving and can't watch
Some
the
at work
screen.
or listening and supposed to be working. They got their earplug in
And
there.
also some visually impaired. So
And we're not saying who's listening while they're working. So, but we,
won't
know.
tell.
We won't tell.
Tracker Lorna says, hi, War Chief Tracker C.
All right.
JR says, watching Wednesdays. Hello, everyone. Tracker Lorna
JR.
says, hey, JR. Shadow Tracker J says, blessings, everyone. I have a nasty summer cold and sore throat. Going back to bed. Keep me in prayer. Sure will, Shadow Tracker J.
Okay.
Get better.
Get those
Take your
minerals.
minerals.
Take those minerals.
Tracker Lorna
Tracker
says,
Lorna.
hi, Shadow Tracker J, sending you healing prayers. See, they're already on their way.
Yeah, already. Great
War-
group.
Yeah, War Chief Tracker C says, will do, Shadow Tracker J. Amen.
Yeah. More prayers sent your way.
Tracker 17 says, Hallie Toad, Jerry, Lead Horse, Choctaw Williams, Lead Tracker E, Friends, Trackers, Warriors, Shadows, and Thunders.
Tracker 17's in the room.
Tracker Lorna says, hi, Tracker 17. Tracker 17 said,
Oh, wow.
super sticker. Thank you very much, Tracker 17.
Thank you, 17.
He-
Wow.
Yeah, he's always doing everything that he can to help
Yeah. Doing a lot to help other people,
and
too.
a lot to train people.
Mhm.
Tracker 17 says, hi, Tracker Lorna. War Chief says, Hallie Toe 17. Tracker Lorna says, thank you, Tracker 17. Yes, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Tracker
Yeah.
17 says, Hallie Toe, War Chief Tracker C. War
Yeah.
Chief Tracker C says, Hallie Toe JR. War Chief says, Hallie Toe Graybeard. And Hallie Toe Sleeping Bear. Tracker 17 says, Hallie Toe Graybeard. War Chief telling Deborah Mueller, Hallie Toe.
Yeah, threw me off for a second.
War Chief says Hallie Toe to Tracker Lorna, and Tracker 17 is putting the link for the
Oh,
Australian link for the book.
wow. Thank you, Tracker
And that's
17.
right, our books are as far as Australia too. Great
Yeah.
Britain, Australia, Ireland.
Japan.
He says, y'all need to study. Thank you for doing that. War Chief
yeah.
says, thank you, Tracker Lorna in 1-7.
Mm-hmm.
That was me just letting everybody know we were going to be here momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
War Chief says, amen. Tracker 1-7 says, Bigfoot Gifters, Amazon, Australia link. He dropped that in the chat.
Thank you, Tracker 17.
Yes, thank you very much. We really appreciate you doing that. Tracker Lorna says, yay. Oh, I asked them to drop their own favorite verses. Tracker Lorna says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Psalm 23.
Mm-hmm.
War Chief also picked Psalm
All
23. Verse 4, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
All right, good.
Tracker 17 says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Christ. Colossians 2:8. Thank you. Good one, Tracker.
Yeah, good one.
Tracker. War Chief says, amen. Tracker Lorna says, my favorite, Psalm 23.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah.
Tracker 17 says, therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith we curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God.
Mm-hmm.
James 3:9, another good one.
Wow.
Tracker Lorna says, amen. Tracker 17 says, for there stood by me this night the angel of God, whose I am and whom I serve. Acts 27:23. I love that one.
That's a good one.
And he says, and Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Genesis 22:8. Thank you, Tracker 17.
We'll provide.
Always. And he put the link for the Australian public Facebook Predator Yowie group, which Tracker 17 owns.
And like, subscribe to that one also.
Yeah, he is outnumbered there by the Bigfoot lovers.
But he's still kicking doors down. By
the Yowie lovers. Yeah, he's starting to make a difference though.
Yep.
Elastic Machinery is here.
Hey, all right.
Says, hey, brothers and sisters. Hey, 17, and of course the host will be mostly listening tonight, taking care of my old people at the moment. Well, good for you for doing that.
Okay.
For both, double duty. Good to hear you though. Tracker Lorna says, hey, Elastic Machinery, and War Chief says, halitoto Elastic. And he's saying hi back to Lorna and to War Chief. 17 saying, hey, Elastic. And that's where I welcomed everyone. Then we have Robert Penaloza. Welcome. Bendiciones.
Bendiciones. Cuando andan con José Italia es mucho mujer porque ellos las traducen en español. Something about translating Spanish.
You should be able to put in your chat. I hope you can speak some English, or if someone else could translate, to put in your chat to translate, and hopefully that it will in the closed captions.
Yeah. I wonder if I can.
Judy says, good evening, trackers. Hey, Judy. And she's sending hearts and prayers, or love and prayers.
Judy Wheeler.
17 says, good evening, Judy. Tracker Lorna is saying hi to Robert.
Hello. Say hola to Robert.
And
Tracker Lorna saying hello to Judy Wheeler.
And to Judy saying hi to 17. War Chief is saying, are we having technical difficulties? We got those sorted out.
Oh, this is where he was.
We can skip those. And then
Tracker 17 saying hola to Robert Penaloza. He says, no, it's me, apelido Penaloza.
No, it's me. Then it's our verse for the night for 1 Peter 5:8. And then War Chief is saying, Judy, how are you tonight? And hola to Robert. Judy saying, War Chief, I'm doing wonderful tonight. Thank you. War Chief says, halito, Robert Penalosa. Tracker 17 says amen. So does Judy and JR and Tracker Lorna and War Chief. And we got that sorted out. Linda from Texas
Linda from
is here.
Texas.
She says, hola, War Chief Tracker C, Tracker Lorna, Tracker 17, Judy Wheeler, Shadow Tracker J, and JR, Graybeard, Sleeping Bear, Elastic Machinery, and Robert Penaloza.
War Chief, Tracker Lorna, and 17 are saying hello to Linda. And this is where everybody's saying that they can see us.
Yeah, we can skip all those. Bernard is here.
Bernard is here. All right. Everybody's saying hello to Bernard. Deborah's saying that we're live. Okay. Oh, this is where War Chief says he's back. All right.
Good.
And Bernard saying hello to Lorna. Tracker Lorna.
Everybody's glad he's back in. War Chief says, ring that bell, ring that bell.
Yeah.
He sent us a
Now.
message earlier asking, did we break the bell after we watched part of this video?
Just we could
Tracker,
have.
Tracker Lorna says, awesome video. I think she's talking about the one with the song that we did earlier.
Oh.
And Tracker 17 says,
Kay Neff is saying hello.
oh,
to
I'm sorry,
everyone
Kay. I missed that one.
from East Texas.
Hello, everyone from East Texas. That's where she is. She's not only saying hello to the people in East Texas.
Yeah. Only to them.
Tracker 17 says
Hallie-
Hallie Sleeping Bear and wish I could come and be there. I have the same problem as last year. We wish you could too,
Yeah.
Tracker 17, but it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
You'll still be around, Lord willing. KNF says prayers for healing, Tracker J.
Yeah, there you go.
And Lorna says, hi, KNF. Kay saying hi back to Tracker Lorna. Graybeard says, hi, all, I'm back. Thanks for all the greetings. Good to see the good people tonight. It sure is. Bernard saying
is.
hello to everyone. Linda says, Robert Penalosa, he said it is better when he joins Jose and Tanya because they translate. Yes, well,
Oh,
they're better at it,
yeah.
translating.
And CT, sometimes when she comes in, she translates. Sometimes
Yeah,
Scott
we
does.
can't always do it.
Yeah, we
yeah.
can't because we're talking and doing this and, you know.
So Linda, if you could let Robert know our apologies and that maybe if he could do closed captions and set those to translation,
Yeah, that would work
that
too.
it may work. I've done it on some videos and other videos I can't, but hopefully he can, or go back and rewatch it later and it will work.
Yeah. Okay, we're caught up on that. So, also, sponsors for the project that we're working on. Like we said, we wish we could tell everybody what we're doing, but there's certain
Not yet,
people
not till
that we don't
it
want
happens.
knowing what we're doing.
Yet.
This one isn't Bigfoot related, but it's a project we're working on. Been working on for a little while. We're on day 21, so we're giving daily videos out or live videos if we get a chance to go live, and we will more towards the end. Those are big things that are coming up that we've been working on. We want to thank all the sponsors again for all your support. And again, the funds aren't needed until July the 1st. But all the people who've already sent the sponsorship in, we've put that to the side, and we'll be using that whenever we need to take care of July the 1st.
Could we possibly would this be a good time to show the one picture that we have recently?
Okay.
Before we get into this, we just want to show you
one of the latest.
Yeah, a recent track photo that was from the woods immediately surrounding a stickball field. We tell y'all to watch the football fields, the sporting fields. That's one area that really catches a lot of attention. They're often surrounded by woods, and this is what you'll find in there. And this place was slap full of structures, starting at the very edge of the pipe fencing that was around the field. And also there was a large tree nearby, and it had in a field, maybe 25 yards away from that tree line, and it had pull downs. And if you've read the book, you know what the pull downs are. You'll know by the end of tonight if you don't know. And it had pull downs, which create blinds for the predator Bigfoots. This is a predator Bigfoot, and they hide behind those pull downs. And at this particular park, they were from the pull down. They could watch the stickball field, they could watch the people coming to the cemetery, and they could watch the children playing on the playscape up on the hill. So people are distracted in all three of those situations, and they've got these things watching them.
I also wanted the one that's on this side, which is the left side of the picture. I was looking at it and I was going, what does that remind me of? That's a raccoon Bigfoot. I was looking at that, and I've seen calico Bigfoots, different colored Bigfoots, but that one's like, yeah, that's a raccoon Bigfoot.
Because they take the DNA of the prey that they've been eating. It gets in their genetics, them and their the things that spawned them.
Which is also
We
in the
explain
book.
more about that in the
Yeah,
book.
we'll explain more about that.
But this is why you have dog man, lizard man, bear man pig. They have those things are in their DNA, and they're all bound together in one monstrosity. This painting is the legend of time that is also in the book, that explains how these not human, but they have stolen human DNA, how they came to be. So anyway, that's just a pretty good shot that we got that day, and we wanted to let you see that.
Yeah.
And if you want to see the full video, look on the Bigfoot Predator and Spiritual Warfare YouTube channel. It's our smaller channel. And if you look on that, it's the most recent video that says so many blinds. Have to what?
Have to make me a drink.
I'll get you. You want this?
No.
Oh, you mean like with the,
Yeah.
okay.
So just give me a second and talk amongst.
Oh, come
Be
on.
checker.
Okay. We'll catch up on more. Oh, no, there are no more comments. Okay, so I'm truly on the spot. Okay. Anyway, so the one that we're watching tonight, and we'll start it in just a minute. We'll have to turn our screen around. Hold on just a second. This is a wolf sanctuary that is in East Texas. Sorry, I'm trying to see over the laptop. And it's from a channel called Wild Man of the Woods. It's got 116,000 views in 1 month. And the episode is called Sasquatch and the Wolf Man. And it's new Bigfoot evidence from pretty sure it says East Texas. It's only an 18-minute and 38-second video, but we'll be able to stretch it out to 3 hours, I'm sure. So anyway, this woman has a sanctuary for wolves in East Texas, and they're just way too confused about what's going on there. And she called this Wild Man of the Woods to help her, and he needs our book, like for real. Elastic Machinery says, so strange and scary to see the book come to life, especially with the DNA and traits the predators take. It is, but we can deal with anything as long as we know what we're dealing with. That makes it so much better to me. It's a lot harder to wonder. Once you know, then you can prepare. Graybeard says, LOL. Elastic Machinery says, I mean, when I see the photos of the predators, it reminds me of what the book says. Yes. And we've got photos that look like alligators, bears, monkeys, Muppets. And there's no good ones. No matter how cute you may think that they look, they will all eat your head. Tracker 17 says, you'll love the Yowie Bigfoot varieties we have in this country, Elastic. Yeah, they have them that look like wombats and kangaroos, alligators. Oh, there we go. Wombat, sheep, bovine, kangaroo DNA. Good, Tracker 17. Perfect example. War Chief says it's in Iola, Texas, a wolf and wolf dog sanctuary. And Elastic Machinery says absolutely at least Tractor E. Okay. You ready? You good?
Yeah.
If I look like I did a 2-minute makeup job, it's because I did a 2-minute makeup job.
Me too.
Yeah, we just got finished eating. We had to just hurry up and grab that. That's why he just had to grab a drink.
I got about 5-10 minutes.
We got sirens going by. That doesn't happen too often. A couple times maybe. Uh-oh. Did you bump something?
No, it's scrolling. Is this plugged in? It's got power. No, we're on one, but we're not on the other. So we gotta wait for just
Technical difficulty on the laptop.
There we go. There we are. There we are.
Okay, it was scrolling.
So let me get this set up.
And then
real
we'll
fast.
spin this around and I'll hit the lights. We've got our trusty BS bell. We've got our mini blind pointer sticks so that we can point things out on the screen, and we'll ring the bell when we hear something we disagree with or need to address.
So this is a
I
sanctuary.
explained.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We can get started then.
And if anyone that's read the book, if you happen to know a quick reference to any page that we're talking about when we say it's in the book, feel free to put that page or that chapter in the comments for us, so that other people can look it up.
That's probably good right there.
Yep. Hit the lights.
I'll get this one. Okay.
I wrote them the name.
We'll check this last comment, then we'll go start.
Elastic Machinery says, I've seen in the group at Tracker 17, where I grew up in Kentucky, there's a bovine variety, both horned and hornless, seen by my cousin and her husband years ago, and a friend of mine a year ago, albino and red. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. We've seen the cow ones too, and the ones that have the horse DNA.
Yeah, we seen one that had a horse face, a long horse
Recently.
face.
That was Shadow Tracker J, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You got that? Yeah, big
she
one.
sure did.
Very big.
I don't have, yeah, dude.
Your pointer? I sat on mine. My pointer is curved now.
Yeah.
I'm
See, we
afraid.
got our pointer sticks.
Now
There
we'll
we
know
go.
whose pointer is whose. Mine is a bow.
Yeah, hers is big.
Let's
Okay,
go.
so let's listen and see how far we get and see what's going on.
It's muted.
I was out here in the middle of the night. I often come out here and check on the dogs. I heard something making hideous noises. It sounded kind of like something was getting killed.
Because it was.
Mud for weeks. And I was out feeding the. And it was like I was walking
Something's going on.
Sure is.
ago. We were having.
There's a pull down.
Let me start over. Let me try to back it up to where.
And that sound is either it literally was something getting killed or it was a mimic of something getting
That
killed.
was, yeah, something that was killed. It had a subject.
I was out here in the middle of the night. I often come out here and check on the dogs.
Blind.
Yeah, there's got blind right behind her. It's kind of
Bush blind.
blurred out.
I heard something making hideous noises. It sounded kind of like something was getting killed.
She shouldn't be going out there at night.
Let me get past this.
Several years.
They need to try really hard to be able to have an enclosed area for those wolves for at night, that they can be locked safely into at night, and that way she doesn't feel compelled to have to go out there at night. We don't want anyone to do that. Stay inside, stay locked up if you can.
And we understand that people who don't know what's going on don't believe that these things are out there, and they've been told, like everybody else on the internet, through YouTube, through these books, through these other channels who don't know anything, that these things won't hurt you, that they're vegetarians, that they're harmless, they're curious. That's all they are.
Protectors of the forest,
Ancient people,
named Daisy and Lollipop.
flower, pumpkin. But these things are predators, and they are hunting. If you got tracks around your house, these things are hunting around your house. That's when pets go missing. We've got a lot of pets reported missing. Even though people know about Bigfoot, they will say it was a bobcat. Well, we didn't see a bobcat, but we heard
Must
that,
have been a bobcat.
yeah, there was a sighting about 50,000 miles away.
I think my neighbor killed it.
Yeah, or my neighbor killed it and
Poor
drank all
neighbor's
of its
getting
blood.
blamed, and it wasn't even them.
Yeah. And when you don't know this thing's a predator, you do very careless things that you normally wouldn't do. If you knew it was a grizzly, man-eating grizzly bear out there, you wouldn't be going out there in the middle of the night. Yeah, it looks like a giant. Yeah. All right, let's go a little further with this person.
Ago, we were having spring floods. Sometimes that happens, and it was like I was walking in 6 inches of mud for weeks. And I was out feeding the dogs one evening, and they were splashing.
You know, even inside the kennel, you've got pull downs.
Mm-hmm.
You got bows out here in the back of it.
We've even seen bows literally woven into a horse corral with the other wood that surrounded the corral. And that there was 3 horses, and there was one blind old nag getting raped by the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
The people that lived, it was basically in their backyard, and the people that the Indian community that lived there they wouldn't even go into the woods anymore. None of them, because of these things out there, these predators.
Yeah.
Muck in my eyes, and I
Let me back that up.
mud for weeks. And I was out feeding the dogs one evening, and they were splashing muck in my eyes. And I
missed it.
Mud for weeks. And I was out feeding the dogs one evening, and they were splashing muck in my
Trim
eyes.
that.
And you got
They
some
need to cut these back from right around there
Got some
and get some
bows.
doors on these.
bows back here.
Uh-huh.
Right on that fence line, right on where these dogs are.
And I fussed at them.
Man, she's got them all over the place.
Yeah, and if your dogs are acting up, if they're acting goofy, they're trying to alert you about something, and we hear them saying, shut up, be quiet, and they're just doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Unless you train them not to bark and to alert you in some other kind of way, they're doing naturally what they need to be doing, and they're trying to help you.
Yeah.
Actually, stop, because I was just covered with mud. And
I still get a kick out of her having that blind right behind her.
Yeah.
That's a
pretty developed one.
And that could be one
Wish we
out
could
there
get a
just
clear
laying
look at it. Yeah, in here too.
like a dog laying there. Yeah. Could be 2 right there just laying there watching her.
this is before the back half of the property back here was cleared. It was very thick, the woods. And I heard something scream so loud that it echoed and literally vibrated the air. And to me, it sounded demonic, but it kind of sounded like King
Yes, they
Kong
do
in
have
the movie.
demon blood in them.
And the dogs just instantly all stopped moving. They get really excited, you know, when it's time to get food, to be fed, and they all stopped and just stared back.
Oh, it's all over this area.
Cut those down. Look for them when it's in the fall and the winter, and before the green comes in the spring, and you'll see so many blinds out there. That's the time to get rid of them, or at least identify them and go back and cut them.
And if you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know these signs, make sure whoever you call does know, because the guy that they calling this is walking past these same blinds, bowls,
Looking for evidence.
looking for evidence and can't find any. But you got stuff like this all over the place.
And it'll be, you also look for strategic placement. It's going to be, you know, aimed towards something. The blinds are going to be built up so that they give the predator the advantage to sit and stalk the prey.
And also, you see right here, this is being held down. It's not and that's not natural anyway. But this is being held down by this debris right here.
Back into the woods, and it unnerved me a little bit. So I still had to feed some over on, you know, the edge of the property, which made me quite nervous. But I had my 9mm in my pocket. So, but I still, you know, I come out here a lot at night, and I'm always out here day and night. And that was the first time I ever heard anything that was, I mean, it wasn't like anything I'd ever heard. It was frightening.
Well, I wasn't here for the event.
That's the guy.
That's the guy. He said, well, I wasn't here for
his channel.
I wasn't here for the event.
They need to clear that debris up out of there.
Yeah, that's a natural blind that they made themselves. But he wasn't there for the event. So
But I immediately got a phone call. Me and Kathy's been partners for about 7 years at all this. We started together. This is hers. It's on her property, and it's her sanctuary. But I'm vice president, and I'm down with the whole thing forever. So
Well, then learn.
we talk.
Don't dismiss these things
Vice President what though?
of this sanctuary.
Oh.
Thing of this sanctuary.
Oh, I thought it was the Bigfoot trying to get evidence. They haven't been doing this for 7 years as far as Bigfoot, right?
I hope not. I think it's of this sanctuary.
Okay.
Maybe they know in the chat.
Okay.
In the remote heart of Texas lies the Twin Rivers Wolf and Wolf Dog Sanctuary. It contains 46 powerful animals who live out their lives in the isolated woods in what was supposed to be a relaxing refuge. But something else had found its way into these once peaceful woods. For years, the strange calls, the unexplained missing objects, and the perplexing footprints were written off as an overactive imagination. But now, the evidence is
We tell you in the book not to be second guessing yourself. People will work a lot harder to stretch their brains to come up with the answer they want to know than just to accept what's really there.
This guy is walking past all these signs and hadn't got a clue.
undeniable, and the puzzle is starting to make sense. For Kathy and Jerry, this is no longer just a sanctuary.
Even in these,
They need to trim all this stuff because
all
it gets
these are
added
pulled
to.
down.
It gets added to over time.
And these Bigfoots are they're going to find prints inside there if they would look for prints inside there. Because that's only an 8-foot fence. These things can jump higher than that. Or they can jump on those
easy.
trees and climb down.
Easy.
So I don't know these people, but if I would say they probably got at least one, well, probably one at a time, missing wolves.
For misunderstood animals It has become a front row seat to a mystery.
This needs to go.
Yeah. And all these trees are being bowed off behind
Because not
them.
only will they burrow up in there and use it for a blind, they'll also drag off this stuff that doesn't get taken away, and they'll pull it out and rearrange it in the forest and make blinds with it.
And pay attention to your forest. Know when there's the limbs are being pulled down, or
Take a picture once a week.
yeah,
Just walk around your yard or stand at your door, your entry door, or the door you use most often, and take a picture, here, 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 all the way around, and then do it again next week. Do that over a period of time and compare and see what changes.
yeah.
That neither of them expected to face. Something.
Oh,
Look at that. We got
for sure he should.
that looks like
If he's
one
been
right
doing
there.
this any length of time, he should know that this would
Looks like
be
three.
what we call looks squatchy right there. That whole thing.
These are pull-ups.
All that needs to be pulled down. They're making tree line skirting.
This looks like one right here. It's not two. That looks like one.
She did say they cleared about half the land, so that's good.
And this is an outline of something.
Can you see a face right there?
That looks like something holding on to it, like something smaller.
Can y'all
I a
see that?
smaller
To me, it
tree.
looks like eye,
Yeah, I mean, there's one there,
muzzle.
one right there, and this is like the main one. So what else they got going on? This whole area is just a trap walkway, and it looks like one there, one there, one there, or at least these two.
When they're translucent, you can be standing right next to them.
And you gotta unfocus. People say, "Well, that's just a darker than dark." I mean, well, that's what we look for. But this should look like this over here. But this is dark, outlined, and they have multiple on them, so that breaks up the silhouette. But it also breaks up the what the mind thinks. That looks like another one out here in the
They
woods.
can look like the waves on a hot highway. The heat.
Yep.
Yeah, I would look real close right there.
Yeah. Around that. Yeah, sure is. And these guys don't know these people don't know what to look for. Though. These are just pictures to them.
Yo, with better resolution on your TVs, may see more.
But there is so much through here. This is the trap area. There's your bow right there.
The bow, they're gonna run the prey over the top of that, over this to impale itself, and try to funnel it through the bow, just like a game of croquet.
Yeah.
Is out there and is watching them from the thick, dark Texas woods.
We had a lady move in with her husband to live on the property to help with the sanctuary. And
Is it
we
because
were
you were
out
scared
here.
and wanted more company?
Well,
Mhm.
I'm missing these discs. I decorated the lockouts on the.
It sounded like she was answering me. Well, I'm missing these days.
Well, I got a few things missing. Some things have been moved around. I'm hearing noises. I'm getting tracks.
Stuff's moving.
Stuff's missing. But don't worry about it. This guy said, don't worry about it. Probably nothing.
Just your imagination.
Your imagination.
Dog enclosures, and there's like one disc missing off of each enclosure, and I couldn't figure that out because nobody would come back here that I know with these dogs. Everybody's afraid of them.
Each one of these enclosures had two of these. One here and one here. Now there's only one. They went there and snatched one loose on all these. They took 8.
Who's they? Who's they? He hadn't got it
And
figured
now,
out.
sir, I'm going to need you to center that on that gate.
Yeah, fix that.
They left here with them. I'm sure we'll find them out here in the woods one of these days.
Yeah.
I bet you don't.
It'll probably be used to gift someone else.
Yeah. Someone else will find it on their front porch.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then Amber and I were out here, and she started seeing footprints, very strange footprints.
Tracker 888, he's not in here yet. I don't see him, but he has a very similar footprint that he just cast.
Sure does. I was going to get a.
Now I'm not sure that's a footprint or a handprint.
I was going to get a picture of that. Of his cast, but I forgot about it.
Like a footprint with claws, but they were huge. To me, it reminded me that it could be a werewolf, but I don't believe in werewolves. So I talked to Jerry Mills, who is a Sasquatch person, and
Sasquatch person. Hey, look behind you. Look
You
over.
already told her to dismiss everything.
And they might have done this themselves. Being
Right,
out
it looks
there,
like a bonfire, but it's getting
but they need to check that out.
getting manipulated. They need to get rid of it.
Yep. I can't believe he's walking past all this stuff.
He
Yeah,
needs
he's-
to be saying, let's trim this, trim this, trim this,
Oh,
burn
yeah.
it, burn it, haul it off, mulch it.
A lot of work that needs to be done there.
Yeah.
Walk around, ain't got a clue what
Looks
he's
like
looking
a-
for.
Yeah.
To him, it's like, oh, that's probably a wind, or probably
Yeah, weather. The ice storm.
the ice storm that
It-
wasn't
Yeah.
there.
he said, we sent him pictures, and he said, oh, that's something going on out there, like, Bigfoot or whatever.
Whatever.
And
Or whatever.
At least he did say
Well, he said
about the
something's
track.
going on. Yeah.
Something's going on. At least he did say that. So at this point, he's listening.
Yeah.
we saw prints several times. She had a print right next to her RV.
She gives me a phone call and starts sending me these pictures, and I've heard a few times from her off and on over the last year or so. It's been more recent than not, but there's always been some kind of odd sound or something that she didn't recognize, and it's kind of, I told her, it sounds a little squatchy, but you really don't want to think you got a pack of squatches creeping on your property. That's the last thing, until it's absolutely nothing but that. So
No, just go ahead and learn the signs and catch it early. Don't wait until they moved in with you.
There's signs all over this place. There's howls, there's tracks, there's witnesses to all this.
Missing things. Dogs going goofy.
And it's better if that's the first thing that you think.
It really is. That way you can get rid of any potential ambush spots.
Yeah, so you start deterring right away and not say, well, let's wait till it comes up to the house and eats the dog.
we kind of blowed it off and dismissed it. Nothing had
You did what?
We forgot the bell.
Oh, we should have been ringing that bell for an hour.
They kind of blowed it off and dismissed it.
Yeah, just blowed it off, dismissed it. It's just sounds,
It's just
just tracks,
sounds, scared dogs.
just scared people.
We're waiting for missing pets
And he's
or missing
wildlife.
wildlife.
And he's saying, well, we just blew it off. No big deal.
thing until it's absolutely nothing but that. So we kind of blowed it off and dismissed it. Nothing had ever really happened other than we hearing stuff. And then one day I get this call and I get sent a bunch of pictures that up there at our resident volunteer and her husband's camper. They felt the camper shake one night. Well, we got horses that run around, and she thought maybe the horses were rubbing on it or something. Well, she got up and went out the next day and looked down, and it'd been rainy and stuff. And sure enough, there was this long three-toed track, and there was claw.
That does not look like three toes.
That's not three toes. Oh, this guy needs to take a tracker course.
Or maybe they didn't match up the right print with what he's saying. Because we have had three track out here. Three toe.
Yeah.
They can have 3 toes, 4 toes, 5 toes, 6 toes.
Yeah. And you can see all the ridges here. 4 definite.
And now it's progressed since they blew it off. Now it's progressed to literally shaking their RV. Oh yeah, I didn't even. I
Oh
forgot.
yeah.
We were gonna read a while back. We got a message from someone who decades ago was on a job and had his RV. It was shaking something terrible, and he wrote to us and he got our book. He got the whole set of books, and he
Yeah,
wanted to thank us because he said, finally, after all these years, he knows exactly what was going on because it always remained in his mind, bothering him of what that could have been because of the size of it and the strength it would have taken to shake that whole RV. Everybody thinks they're 6-7 feet tall, and that's simply not true.
He said that one had to have been at least 12 foot tall.
And they can be that tall, but they're every range in between to much bigger.
Oh yeah. So this is at least a 4-toe.
They act like they dropped out at 7 feet, and there's no little ones in between, and that they never get bigger.
It's like the mind is stuck right there.
It is. Well, because it's all they hear all the time from these other groups. Okay, you got yourself, like we've gone into the restaurant and seen a poster, and it said, okay, now they're all between 6 to 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
They all weigh this amount.
450 pounds.
Yeah. They don't tell you some have claws, some don't. Some have muzzles, some don't. Some have
Retractable claws.
Yeah, pointy ears. Some have.
Some have wings. Some have hooves.
Yeah, some have long hair. Some have short hair.
Some have no hair.
Yeah, some have no hair. They're all different colors.
Some look like raccoons.
They can be translucent.
Some look like horses.
They can have muzzles. They can have snouts.
Some look like alligators.
Human-like faces, and those are the most deceptive.
Some look like dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're the creepiest because they get the closest, and people trust
Some
them.
look like skeletons.
Yeah, we've got pictures of those.
Yeah, they look just like a skeleton.
Dogs, cats, rabbits.
Dogs,
all
cats,
those features.
furry, and then you got the ones that actually look like the Harry and the Henderson.
They can have. They can look like lizard man. They can have snake-like features. They can have chicken-like features.
Green, blue.
Stop putting them in
Calico.
one little box.
Sometimes the hair looks like like a calico cat's tail, fluffy.
They're all just mutations of the same predator.
Some look like deer. Some look like cougars. They can drop down and look exactly like a cougar if you don't know what you're looking at. It's
They
got a
can
tail.
have hooves,
Some got tails, some don't.
short tails, long tails.
Some got multiple fingers, multiple appendages.
They might have more than 2 eyes, and each eye may have more than one eyeball within it. And it may have a lid that comes up from the bottom or over from the side. There's every configuration. They're a combination of everything and a completion of nothing.
Yeah. Some look like the razorback. Some look like the crows. Some look like rabbits.
This is why everybody gets so confused. And most people won't even talk about the ones that are really off the wall looking because they get mocked.
Was at the end of it, and it had a long taper to it and a normal size heel. This track was about this long. It tapered up, then it broadened out and come to those 3 toes. And I recognize that track. You know,
First of all, it had more than 3 toes.
If that's the picture that went with what he's talking about.
That's the one he's talking about. But it had more than 3 toes. And this guy's saying, so he's already going to give the wrong information.
Even with the claws, some have like razor sharp claws, some have thicker claws like a dog, or the difference between a dog and a cat.
Some look like a guitar pick or what do you call a teardrop
Yeah,
looking.
more spatulate.
Yeah.
Some have they're just big grubby looking nails that are like our nails.
Yeah. Some just like ours too.
I've done a lot of squatching, and I've seen squatches, and I've found tracks. Well, these were the standard big husky built tall giant squatch with the big huge fat feet. Well, these guys here are similar, but they're slimmer, and their feet.
We're telling you all the different hybrid variations, and this guy's trying to make it sound like it's a whole different Bigfoot. It's the same thing. They set the same traps. They hunt the same way. They
Yeah,
all,
it's the same patterns.
yeah,
everywhere, all
same
across the globe.
patterns everywhere. And it could be a big one, it could be a small one, it could be a medium-sized one.
All through history and all across the world. And the chapter on appearance starts on page 50, 53, I think. 51,
wow.
53 or 51.
51. Page 51.
In the Predator Bigfoot book, start on page 51, and it gives all kinds of appearance
Page
information.
51 in the Predator Bigfoot and Spiritual Warriors Path book.
If we get time when it's done, maybe we'll read that.
This guy needs this book. That woman needs this book. They both need
Those
this
wolves
book.
need this book.
And they both need that book.
People in the RV need this book. Okay, so it's shaking the RV.
So people, they need to read this book and needs to quit giving advice until he reads that book. They don't know what he's talking about. Go back up just a hair.
Well, these guys here are similar, but they're slimmer, and their feet are shaped different. And these tracks match exactly the same ones out of Falk, Arkansas, and the movie that had the legend.
Those
of
have
Boggy
3.
Creek, what's the Boggy Creek monster?
The one you showed had 4.
And the other
At least.
track that was just exactly the same was picked up in Honey Island Swamp. They call it the Honey Island Swamp monster.
That's
These
because
guys
they
have
have the
feet like
features
that.
of aquatic animals.
So, a squatch is a squatch regardless of what his feet, So, and she looked around the camper, and up on the top of the fifth wheel, you know how they connect. She walks under and looks up. Well, there's his hair, and it's kind of an orangey tan with some lighter highlights and some darker highlights at the bottom.
That's a very common color in anywhere that has a pine forest because it blends in with the dead pine needles. The first real clear view I got of one was a cinnamon colored one. We've had the hairs here and we've tried to burn them and they did not burn.
Yeah. So they should burn and see what happens because their hair is different. And of course, they could send that to someplace to have it analyzed.
But they might not even get told the truth because they go into a file called unknown unknown.
Or get their own telescope and look at it. You're looking for no medulla
Yeah.
in that.
Also about the hair, some have afro looking hair, some have curly hair, some have long wavy hair that looks like flowing hair, some have short nappy looking hair, some have short smooth beautiful shiny hair like a lab would, some have patchy hair, some are mangy looking, some are hairless. They can be translucent and pick up the color of anything around them, so they appear like they're green if they're up against the forage. Also in the book under appearance, we talk about all the different colors of hair. Think of all the colors of every animal out there, and one of these is going to have it in any of those variations. Just like it's just a natural crypsis or camouflage.
Real coarse and thick, and the hair's about that long. That would match a head,
He's a good guesser. I wouldn't take his opinion. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And he says all this stuff, and then he'll probably say something like, well, I don't know. Or he'll say something that he's giving his opinion. He said, well, that would be something from the head. Okay.
Could be, maybe, possibly.
And then later he's going to retract. This guy is just.
With some lighter highlights and some darker highlights at the bottom. It's real coarse and thick, and the hair's about that long. That would match a head, If it pulled off of the shoulders of the body, you would think it would be longer, but these guys don't necessarily, and all of them got long hair,
Right.
They don't all got long hair. Some of them don't even have hair. Some of them are hairless. Like Lee Tracker Reed, some of them's got the afro looking hair. Some of them's got regular hair. It depends on who they ate, what they ate. They could have scraggly hair like this guy.
Some may even have scales, scaly.
Yep, some of them have
skin.
scales.
Yeah.
Some of them have, like that snake, like the snake skin. They could have the coarse hair like a pig, small and very thin, or real long hair.
Some of them look well groomed and beautiful, like something just brushed them.
Yeah. So it's not, you can't, like this guy's trying to put them into a box. These things come in every
Because
variation.
he's afraid to just come straight out and say this is this and that is that.
And he also afraid to come out and say he don't know. He's guessing all the way through this, and he's talking to people who are going to listen. You're going to hear somebody else, oh, well, that's short hair, so that probably comes from the head. Because they heard this guy say it.
Yeah. It
The
might
only
come
way you
from
can
the
tell
other
where
end.
it came from is if you see it.
Yeah.
'Cause they got so many different hairstyles and
And even like the
DNA.
animals that have longer hair in different seasons.
yeah.
Which told me everything I needed to know. Well, there it is.
Did
You
it?
know,
Wait a minute, let's back that up.
and all of them got long hair, you know. Which told me everything I needed to know. Well, there it is. You know.
What? What did it tell you?
The hair told him not the house, not the witnesses,
Not the prints.
not the tracks,
Not the sounds.
not the pull downs,
Not the upset dogs.
not the bows, not the missing items, but the hair told you everything you need to know. And you even guessed on that. Oh my goodness. Don't call this guy if you need an expertise out there. Expert out there. Don't call this guy.
Oh, there's the tracks.
It started with the massive footprints. At first, this was easy to overlook, but the strangeness kept occurring, and always in places where no.
Why would massive footprints be easy to overlook?
And if this is their property, they've got stuff all over
That all
this
needs to be
place.
undercut.
And they just don't see these as ambush areas.
And you know, you can get a hold of a fire department, and sometimes just to be able to do training, they'll come out and help you burn out some of this underbrush, so that if it's something that you can't do, or
They're sitting right behind that. And at nighttime.
there'll be a game trail right there.
Yeah, and that's probably it right there.
Yeah.
This guy, even the film crew doesn't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, they're just randomly taking pictures and catching things.
Yeah, they're taking pictures of the forest. They're just showing everything.
One should have been. Out in the stillness of the Texas woodlands, something was moving through the woods, haunting the sanctuary.
Maybe I'll take a good look at that
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
and that.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going.
In the cool of the evening,
And then one night, Amber and I were out here in the middle of the night, and we heard them.
Why?
We heard two calls,
Middle of the night.
like they were calling back and forth
They
to one
were.
another. And right before that, about a week before that, I was out here in the middle of the night. I often come out here to check on the dogs, and
Look, get
I
some
heard
cameras.
something making hideous noises. Like it sounded kind of like something was getting killed.
And we've heard that many times. And if you
I've
hear a
heard
person
it's awful.
screaming,
It's awful.
if you hear a person calling for help, if you hear, like she's saying, like a person is getting killed
Or
or
an animal.
an animal is getting killed, it's because it had been killed. And it had mimicked that sound while it was being killed. It learned that sound.
Or it's actually getting killed.
Yeah.
One of those two things is happening.
Yeah. I heard a coyote. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
coyote pack because they came up later,
Yeah.
and we had a fire, and all these coyotes came to our fire. That's unnatural.
Yeah.
But in the distance, probably about 30 minutes before that, it sounded like one of the coyotes was either getting his skin ripped off while he
Which they
was
do.
alive, or something was sinking its teeth into it, and it knew that it couldn't get away from it. It knew that it was going to get eaten alive.
They hate coyotes.
And that dog, if you heard that, I mean, that coyote, that sound was one of the worst sounds you'd want to hear from anything.
The chapter on mimicking vocalizations and gestures starts on page 102 in Predator Bigfoot book. I've heard, I would sit on the porch, I've heard him get a cow, I've heard him get a wild hog, a dog. It's horrible. It's awful. And heard him say, well, I didn't hear him say this, but my daughter did, you're goody goody. So trying to mimic the humans too.
Yeah, we heard them say puppy.
Yeah, like a little girl. Puppy.
Yeah, it's like a little girl was saying it.
They can sound like machinery. They can sound like electrical things. They can sound like weather. They can sound like any animal.
Your
Not
car
just
alarm,
being killed, not just the scary sounds. They might say mama.
crickets.
In Louisiana, Tracker B, the little girl heard her dad. One tried to call her in her dad's voice, mimicking her dad's voice. And she's, old enough to recognize that she's old enough that you would think if something was off, she would know. But that's how close it was to being like the dad's voice, that she actually started to head around the corner into the darkness when she realized dad wasn't even home. And then she got scared and ran in and told her mom.
Yeah. So she's hearing things out there, and this guy's, well, he's no help at all. He is no help.
But he's just
at all.
now, he's gotten all the answers he needs to know, everything he needs
But
to know.
he knows everything. That's all I need to know. I know everything.
I'm
So.
going to boil some water for coffee. I'll be
Okay,
right
this
back.
guy just,
It sounded really weird. It was back in the woods.
She's hearing stuff that's loud enough to reverberate from a long ways off. Low wave sound, big chest, lots of projection. She heard them loud and clear. Of course, nobody wants to think that that's happening, but you can't deny it when it's screaming at you, leaving tracks and hair laying around. She heard them loud and clear. Of course, nobody wants to think that that's happening, but you can't deny it when it's screaming at you, leaving tracks and hair laying around.
These mysterious vocal
this
But that's
guy,
happening, but you can't deny it when it's screaming at you, leaving tracks and hair laying around.
this guy was denying and blowing it off, but this is a continuation, and he's coming in, and instead of coming out and helping and start deterring, because he don't know what he's doing. Now he's saying, well ago he said he blew it off and didn't think about it. Now he's saying he can't deny it because the same things are happening.
And he's let it progress so far.
Now it's even further, and they're getting more comfortable, and they're getting closer, coming in.
So the next stage is the wildlife will start missing. If in your area you start noticing wildlife going, and then after that is pets,
Yeah, then they move in,
and then
and then people.
yeah.
War Chief said, "Leaders, I told you this guy was dumber than a bucket of rocks." He is. Laura Tracker Lauren says, "Pretty sad. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil." Yep. Sanctuary of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
That is.
We're saying ain't a wolf sanctuary, it's a Sasquatch sanctuary.
And they're
Right.
comfortable there. Most of the time when we find something like this, if we was to walk in there, we'd say, "Is there any place you can put these dogs? Take these dogs for about 2 weeks, and you go on vacation."
Yeah.
These things are around here. They're coming up to your RVs. They're coming up to
Way
your
too close,
dogs.
shaking that home.
Yep, they are too comfortable. They're too close.
They need to light it up out there, get some cameras, get some kind of cameras where she can see from the inside. How many times has she said, now we're always out there at night?
Pitch
Stop.
dark.
Stop it.
We
Don't
help.
do that. Make some sort of arrangement so that you don't have to be out there at night. She's asking for trouble.
We went to go help a person one time, and we said, you're going to have to light this area up because you've got chickens and cats and things like that, and these are your pets, and you got dogs, and you keep
Living
them
in a tin can.
outside. So you're going to have to light this area up to keep them away from, because they're going to come, they're going to take your chickens, they're going to take your eggs, they're going to take everything they can, and they're going to eventually try to move in. And
Yeah, they were trying to get her chicken. She was complaining about the chicken that had tried to bust into the little chicken cage that she kept right there.
oh yeah. And so we said, you have to light it up, put some cams up just to start your deterring. And she said, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, both of them. There was two women living in two different RVs. They just wanted to, well, one maybe would have done more, but the other just wanted to complain about her problems, not actually do the deterrence. We wanted her to put skirting up around her house. We offered to do it. No, I don't want that. I'd rather, she didn't want the problem fixed. She just loved the attention from it.
Yeah. And so when she said, that's not going to happen, we're like, well, these things they're going to come in closer. And then we find out they're trying to take her chickens and all that. But we knew that was going to happen.
Looking out the window at night.
Talking to them, yelling at them.
Yeah, yelling at them. We're trying to say, don't communicate with them at all. Well, but I'm just going to do, well, stop asking us then.
Yeah.
Why are we here busting our butts?
Why aren't we trying to help you if you're going to do exactly the opposite?
Yeah. And then later on, somebody else told she put lights up because another group told her put lights up. We're like, oh, great, grand idea.
Yeah, about time. Because someone else said it, now you're doing it.
Yeah. Like,
jeez, I know.
These mysterious vocalizations marked a turning point. No longer.
Well, the vocalizations happened, months ago. That's when you should have. The first time you get some kind of sign about these things being around, whether it's your trees being manipulated, the dogs howling, a missing pet, tracks, a smell, your wildlife disappearing, you need to start deterring. You need to start right then. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to get, the more comfortable they're going to get. And if you don't think that these things won't come in and try to take whatever is left outside, they'll take shovels, they'll take anything like that, and they'll put them by the wood line for you to come out there and get it. Anything they can to get you to come out.
Yeah.
They'll bump on your house so you come outside. They'll make a noise. They'll throw a rock at your house or RV just to see if you'll come outside.
They're just studying, observing, trapping, and it can go on a long time. They're just learning about you.
Just distant echoes. These calls became
All this, we call that tree line skirting. There's a blind developing right here.
Yeah.
We know one woman in Louisiana whose mother-in-law's place was being taken over by the predator Bigfoots. 40 feet into the air, these vines were being pulled up, and she took the time, this friend did, to pull down all those vines, try to clean up the area. Mother-in-law won't listen, feeds the cats outside at night, that sort of thing. They cleared it all, and the next day, all those vines were pulled back up. They pulled it all down. The next day, it was all pulled right back up into the trees again.
This has got a blurred area right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like something is right here in front of that tree. Looks like a face right there and the body using that tree, standing right in front of it. I can't blow that up though, but
Let's keep going.
yeah, this still looks like an outline form.
If you've ever seen the movie Predator, when it's in its translucent state, that'll help you.
Yep.
Intentional. Whatever was out there wasn't hiding anymore. It was coming in closer and getting.
They may also
We
just
just
look
said
like
that
a
was-
shadow or a blur.
We just said that was going to happen.
About them getting closer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now they're saying, and now it's getting closer. It's coming in.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Read the book.
Whatever was out there wasn't hiding anymore.
And they keep
It was
acting like
coming
it's
in
just one.
closer and getting bolder.
Just weird things happen. Like I had cement blocks lined up at the gate because I had a dog in here and I didn't want her to go under the gate. And the blocks are very heavy. And the next morning, the gate was moved a little bit and the blocks were moved like a foot away from the gate.
Gates are ambush spots. We talk about that in the book. Your gates, your entryways. Be sure you keep everything pushed back away from there.
And that gate was open to let you think that a dog disappeared or if those dogs
Or
probably,
if a dog did get out, they could
the
snap
dogs
it.
know better. I ain't going out there. I'm safer inside this cage.
But they will also literally try to lure the dogs with meat, with
Yep.
food.
They sure
fish.
will. Toys, anything.
Yeah.
So there's been some, really strange things. The footprints really made me think something was going on.
Wow.
Not the sounds. Nothing's disappearing.
Not you being broken with the little, what do you call it, zip ties. Not zip ties, completely being snapped.
Not your living volunteer who's talking about all these sounds. None of that. But this.
And the blocks were moved like
Yeah.
a foot away from the gate. So there's been some, really strange things. The footprints really made me think something was going on. Because I'd never seen footprints before out here.
And that's a different footprint. That's not the same one. And you can see claw marks, straight claws. These are pointed, but that's a tip. These are sharp. And you can tell she's probably about a size 8. But so that's not the same print as those other two. They're never alone. And there's multiple traveling through here. And eventually those dogs are going to be taken.
I think we've seen them 4 different times, 4 different places.
And she left, put the blocks back. When she come back the next day, the gate shoved open and the blocks were tossed out of the way. These are big old cinder blocks. We have very few neighbors here, and they're all adult and, over 50. And nobody walks around here. Nobody comes over here, and they certainly wouldn't be creeping out here with a bunch of wolf dogs. So it's just not a person. And
Right there in the back, right there in the wood line. Actually, there's like one right there. But right there in the wood line, you've got structures being built, blinds. They sit right there. You can see if there's an opening right there. Back that up so you can see that.
What I miss.
nobody walks around here. Nobody comes over here, and they certainly wouldn't be creeping out here with a bunch of wolf dogs. So it's just not a person.
You got sugar? No, I was talking about this area right here and this right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is right next to that kennel, just in that wood line.
I'm glad to see some kind of pen, but it really should be more solid. We know an old man in Tallahena that had bars that it was cages actually meant for chimpanzees, and we know how strong they are. And these things just twisted them right open, like it was nothing. Pulled them right apart.
Got their, what was it, chickens in there?
Yeah.
There's something that they got out.
They ended up just
Nobody
moving,
walks-
leaving the property altogether because
They sold it and took off.
it was too much to handle.
Around here, nobody comes over here, and they certainly wouldn't be creeping out here with a bunch of wolf dogs. So it's just not
Right back
personal.
here.
And if I had to lay money on it or bet my house on it, Squatch it would be, you know. So, but that's due to my other past experiences, but this is a new experience.
It's not a new
So
experience.
maybe he doesn't have. What's his show with Korean? Is he a Bigfoot researcher?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is he a partner in the? It's Man of the Woods. Man of the Woods.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know either. But he's also saying it's a new experience, a new thing. No, it's not. You got the same blinds.
New to him.
You got, well, yeah, new to him because he don't know what he's doing. He's got the same blinds, the same tracks, the same disturbances, the same blinds, the same bows, the same pull downs. It's the same pattern.
Does anybody know? Is he a researcher or is this Man of the Woods? Is he talking about himself? He's the Man of the Woods, or is he talking about the Bigfoot is the Man of the Woods? What's his channel about? Just this kind of stuff, or is he more about the wolf sanctuary?
I thought Squatch it would be, you know.
It's an awful
So,
costume.
but that's due to my other past experiences, but this is a new experience, new creatures. They seem to act a little different from place to place. I guess that depends on their interactions with people. Or
No, it don't.
They do everywhere eventually.
This guy's guessing, and you can hear him guessing. He said it's probably because of the interaction with why people listen to people like this.
She called him for help. Both of them did.
I met people on the channel who watches this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they're thinking, "Oh,
Yeah,
well,
they'll take that and
we
get
got a
something
different kind
else.
of Bigfoot over here. We got a different
Yeah,
kind of
that's one of them rogue.
yeah. You got a rogue one.
You got
over
that
there.
rogue bad one.
Yeah,
The rest of them are good.
yeah, the ones we got over here are good. They're just
Friendly forest giants and guardians of the forest.
yeah, they're friends. They're
You should give them
having
gifts
interactions.
and ask them, apologize for going into the woods.
yeah. That's the only reason they came to your house.
That's
even though-
sarcasm. Don't anybody quote us on that.
Yeah.
That's not us saying that.
That's not
the
us saying
stupidity
that.
we hear.
That's what we hear out there.
other animals, and they didn't come up close to these pens for a long time. But now,
But
But now that we let it go so long and we kept blowing it off and
and not doing any deterring, pushing them back.
what did you expect would happen?
And we even said that.
Poor dog.
They're going to be moving in. They're going to be coming closer. They're already up at the RV brushing on it.
Yeah, but yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, I was just thinking about that. They said now they're coming closer.
They were already shaking the house.
They
But it
how
wasn't
much
his
closer?
house.
yeah. How much closer you think? How much closer you want them to come?
These other people are like, what did we get into?
And it was, why did we call this guy?
they ain't even bother them. They walk right on in. They come all the way around the back on this side, all the way up front, up and down in here.
They cut straight
So-
through too.
He got squatchy at Twin Rivers.
It's been squatchy at Twin Rivers. Wherever this place is, it's been squatchy. You just don't know what you're doing.
East Texas is full of them. That's where
Ah,
my first experiences
It's
happened.
just- it's just irritating knowing that people listen to that guy. Or, I mean, if they watch his channel, if they watch this, they're going to think that this guy knows what he's talking about. But if they really listen to him, he's guessing and giving opinions. He doesn't have anything to go on.
Except what he's heard.
As time wore on,
Yeah, except for what he's heard from other channels.
Which is why we're here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All the way up front, up and down in here. So he got squatchy at Twin Rivers.
the boundary between myth and reality continue to intertwine. Whatever was out there was waiting, observing, and leaving signs of its presence. And
Palmetto,
yet,
sign of a
for all
swamp.
the unease, the woods never felt hostile. The sanctuary.
What's hostile? Where it got you by the neck?
Well, it's not when it's shaking your
Not when it's shaking
house.
your,
That's not hostile. That's just
scaring your dogs?
curiosity and what?
I don't know. And it's not scaring your dogs or
It is hostile when they're scaring your dogs and
When
they're
a-
shaking your trailer,
when a predator is around your
stealing
house.
your things.
When your enemy is around your house, when even if it was like a pedophile person, if they're around your house, they've got intentions. That's a hostile. I mean, whether you
Would you ignore that if they were building hiding spots around your house?
you don't wait for these things to get that close to you. You don't wait till you have a pet or a child missing or actually you. You don't wait that long. You start to turn once you see the first sign.
Good night, Linda.
Oh, okay.
Once a refuge for abandoned and recovering wolves and wolf dogs, had become something more. A place where the known and the unknown were now living side by side. The deeper Kathy and Jerry looked, the more it seemed the mystery was rooted not just in the woods, but in the land itself.
We're in Grimes County, Texas, in Iola. We have Twin Rivers Wolf and Wolf Dog Sanctuary. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We have about 46 wolf dogs here. And our play yard.
I would say you had.
I was just fixing to say about how many do you have? You need to count so you can know if any's missing.
Yeah, they're going to start missing.
This place was solid, thick woods before we started this. And our play yard is built so that each containment can open up into the play yard. Dogs can be exercised separately. So not a lot comes around because of the dogs. So whatever's coming around here is not afraid of the dogs at all.
Do you mean
It's
the
not
apex
just one.
predator?
Oh yeah, they're right there all in the big thicket area. Okay, yeah. I see
Of course,
what it is.
it's the main predator. Everything else is afraid of it.
Oh, they're going to stay where they can get somewhere to hide, yeah. And I've looked at this and walked this property, and there's open pastures behind it, and this is a strip of woods behind people's houses and property that run the length of this road all the way to the river. The river's just about maybe 3/4 of a mile down at the end of the road is the river. And
So that's
Waterways.
another, yeah, waterways. It's the Sam Houston National Forest, very near to that.
Why is he not looking in the forest for the tracks? Why is he not looking for their entry and exit points? Why are you staying over there by the fence? Why are you not looking for tracks? You found one track. Where's the rest of them?
You were not doing justice to the name Jerry, sir.
Yes, you know you sure are. First thing we would do, look for those signs and start tracking. We're going to go into that forest and we're going to find their pathways. More tracks. We want to know where the waterways are. We want to know what your wildlife is like. Has it diminished in the last 5 years? Has it stayed the same? What kind of noises do you hear?
they follow those rivers. There's a big pond back over here. There's water year round. We even get a lot of buzzards circling here the last year or so, which makes
There
me
you go.
wonder, you know.
Makes you wonder about what?
We always tell you, I think we say that in the book too. And we ask people when you go to their property, do you see the crows or the buzzards circling around? Or any areas where you see them a lot? That's a sign right there.
Yeah.
They're there for something that's dead.
Even on the tracker reports, we know what kind of birds are in the area.
When Bigfoots eat, they eat.
Yeah.
That question, and where are the waterways?
Yeah.
Those are two of the
And
main
wildlife.
first questions that we ask. Yeah.
Because they got to eat. And we used to have lots of hogs and lots of deer. Now they've kind of moved away.
Moved away.
They went on vacation.
They moved away.
They said, well, Bigfoot's here. We're going to go ahead and move away. No, they got eaten because it's
gone.
a predator. And there's multiple
They
predators.
moved away and the buzzards started circling, going, where are they? Where are they?
The buzzards are looking for them. Come on, guy. Put two and two together. Come on, try it. Try it. Think.
Can't blame them, you know. So
Can't
Yeah,
blame them.
You can't blame them for
Sure
moving.
can't, because they're dead.
Yeah, you sure can't. Yeah.
we used to have lots of hogs and lots of deer. Now they've kind of moved away. Can't blame them, you know.
Can't blame them.
So would this keep up
No.
with the oddity of these animals? I'd say probably so, as long as you didn't mess with them and let till you get, you know, good documentation of them.
What?
This is the beginning of.
So he's a coward. Don't mess with him. Don't push back. Don't deter in any kind of way. Just don't mess with him. Just let them do their thing as they get closer and closer and closer. And wildlife disappears. Now the dogs are going to start disappearing.
And then
They're already shaking the house.
And then he said, until you got good documentation,
What more does he want?
what else do you need? Look around you. The trees will tell you.
Documentation. Get up off that chair and
The
get to work.
buzzards are
Go
telling
set
you.
that bonfire ablaze.
Yeah, the missing wildlife is telling you. The tracks are telling you. The hounds
The
are
dogs
telling
are telling
you.
you.
The dogs are telling you. The living whoever volunteer is telling you. The hair is telling you.
Oh, jeez.
Don't call this guy if y'all need someone to help y'all.
He is indeed not a man of the woods.
No, he's not. he just, I don't worry.
Because we're going to put
Ain't
up
that-
some more cameras and think of some other things to do. See if we can
Good.
actually get a shot
Think
or a
real
video
hard.
of them.
Get our book. We'll tell you deterrence. We'll tell you exactly what to do. So
Yeah. They'll tell you exactly where they're going to be at. Get the DVD
How to
and then
avoid
we
it.
actually show you.
set
where
up some
they-
traps. Knock down those blinds. Burn up those blinds. Remove that stuff. Get some safe shelter for the pets. Light it
Get it,
up,
light it
out,
up
there.
out there.
Solar everything if she can't afford the lights.
Put cams everywhere just to deter them.
Put smells out there like peppermint and bleach that they won't like. Pay
Yeah.
attention to the dogs. Stop going outside at night. Let's start there.
Now, what's this guy's knowledge?
Personally, it seems like most of them can see infrared light, so you don't want to shine laser beams out in the woods, but you still got to have something to click a picture. So I got an idea for that too.
Good.
Oh my goodness.
We actually want you to shine the laser beams out there just to see if you can catch them. But it is true we talked about that earlier about the infrared lights of the cameras.
Yeah, they
But
can
he
see those.
just
cameras.
doesn't know. He just honestly doesn't know.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be giving advice. He shouldn't be giving his
That
opinion.
is true.
And I mean, researchers and people years before have been using that cam,
Yeah.
trying to get a picture and they can't get it.
Yeah. Well,
But
he's
this
got some
guy-
ideas, and
well,
he's
he got
going to
some
get to them
ideas.
one of these days.
He got some ideas.
Just need a few more plates missing and wait till that trailer's knocked off its wheels.
And those dogs come up missing.
But you know, it's just a work in progress. You know, if we come out here and we never hear or see them good, whatever. And if they keep it up, well, okay, you know. So
We'll be mad.
Those footprints.
Okay, what?
Yeah, I'm going to say stop.
Stop it
And if they keep it up, I'm going to say stop again.
again and again. And bring that dog back. And bring the other dog back.
Oh, I guess the dog's moved on.
I guess the dogs, you can't blame them. They moved on just like the pigs and the deer. Oh my
And the
goodness.
rabbits and the squirrels and the raccoons.
This guy doesn't know anything and he's
Oh my goodness.
talking Talking. Oh my goodness.
I think
First
it's
thing we need to do is
Bigfoot.
get him a
I
cup of
mean,
coffee
and
and some B12.
Yeah.
That too. But
Oh, well,
you know,
well.
it's just a work in progress. You know, if we
Well,
come out
no,
here
it
and we
ain't.
never
I
hear
don't
or
see
see
any
them a good,
progression.
whatever. And if they can keep it up, well, okay, you know.
Well, okay, what? I hate it when
Okay,
they say,
you know.
he said, whatever, then I go,
The only thing
okay.
progressing is their is their advancement.
Oh, it's God. Man.
So
those footprints, I think it's Bigfoot. I mean, and I didn't believe it until I had an experience one day. So I believe there's something here. I don't know exactly what it is, but the footprints are like, they're huge. And the claws go into the ground, and they were here at several times. Four.
That's a predator, so it doesn't matter.
They
what
were
you
there
call it.
last
You can
night.
call it buttercup.
Yeah.
It's a predator, and there's more than one.
And it was there last night. Multiple was there last night. You had a disturbance last night. Your dogs acted up last night.
This is why she's going outside at night every night.
Yeah. But she's making it sound like they were here before. But these things are looking for food every night. And right now, you're a big food supply with all those dogs.
Oh, yeah, and where's she keeping the dog food? Is it like what's she feeding them?
Yeah,
They'll
and
be after that too if you don't keep it inside.
and you also gotta check the weight of your dogs.
Yeah, make sure they're not getting their food stolen from them.
Yeah, because these things are eating your dog food, and those dogs are not going to touch that dog food because they know that these things are coming to eat.
Yeah.
And if they get in the middle of their food, they're going to get eaten.
Times we found them. So it makes me think there's something in the woods. Plus, I have dogs.
Wow, these are a couple
that look. There's two enclosures that look straight back into the woods all the time. Sometimes when I come out here at night, they'll just be staring into the woods. And none of the
Imagine that.
Dude, you got
These are some. Oh my goodness.
serious signs all around in that wood line.
I'm just thinking of it. It makes me think maybe there's some. Oh, it's so hard not to be mean sometimes. Like how obviously sweet people because you're taking care of these things. They obviously care about these animals. That means there's good in them, but they're not real bright.
And if they got a lot of bare spots, I don't know the area where they walk a lot, but even those bare spots can be tracks.
And they can look kind of almost burnt. Wow.
other ones are doing that. It's just those dogs at that part of the woods. And when the dogs see something, I know there's something there because they're the ones that tell me if something's there.
So what are you doing
But
about
she
it?
don't listen.
What are you doing about it? You telling them to be quiet again, or
Yeah,
are you cutting back that area? They
she has
shouldn't be
been.
doing that night after night.
She has been telling them to be quiet.
That should be priority one. Start clearing that wood line out so those poor dogs can see.
Those dogs are warning you, and you're not doing anything about it. Those where they're pointing, you should be checking that out, burning that out, clearing it out.
It's supposed to be their sanctuary.
You can put cams up facing that wood line.
You can move those dogs over into a different area till you get that cleaned out.
Yeah.
Like the first time the scream happened that reverberated through the woods, every single dog on the property stopped. They were no longer concerned about their dog food. They were staring straight back to where that sound.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they know what it is.
It should be so easy to find prints in this.
It is. It would be.
Is this another burn pile or?
I think so. It might be the same one. But this guy doesn't know what he's looking for. He's walking past all the blinds and the bows, and the only tracks, he didn't find any tracks. They
No,
found
she
the
did-
tracks.
Yeah. So I don't know what he is or who the man of the woods is.
So he didn't find anything. He's just using their information.
Yeah. And when he would talk about it, he was a little bit condescending in his tone.
He was. But he didn't find any tracks. He's not looking for where they're coming in.
This is why War Chief asked us if we had broken the bell yet. But we
Yeah.
hadn't got this far into this. We would just watch the beginning.
So this guy, oh my goodness. I hope he doesn't have a channel where he's showing people how to get eaten. That's all he's doing here. He's not helping anything here.
Came from. And the other, when that night when everything was screaming, the dogs all started howling. Not only that, but when we heard the calls, them call back and forth to one another, the dogs started this really low, like mournful howl. Like,
Somebody, please save me, because this.
She should also learn, like dogs, they have a language too. And if it's a low one, it's more like, I want to yell, but I don't want you to know exactly where I'm at. And a pack will act up, but if there's a bigger predator, they're not going to be too loud. They're going to be like, whoa, whoa.
Scared.
Yeah.
They were answering whatever it was, which kind of was really interesting, you know, to me. Because Amber and I were out here. She said, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yes." And then when the other one answered and the dogs all started howling, I was like, oh. And then I heard the screaming. I was out here by myself. But I'm thinking, well, I'm in the play yard. I'm probably safe.
I've dealt with wolves and
Yeah, you're probably safe out there in the middle of nowhere by yourself. And this guy says, I've dealt with wolves and I've
coyotes and wild animals for a long, long time, and I know how they think. And I would just say that they were probably attracted by the dogs.
Their food. They eat dogs. They eat wolves. They eat mountain lions. Their food. You're giving food to these dogs, and they're coming to eat every night. And that's why we say don't leave food outside. If you've got trash, you keep it inside until it's time to take the trash out.
Haul it to town with you.
Yeah. Don't barbecue out, especially out here in places like this.
Yeah. Freeze your table scraps until, you know, if you got a compost pile, put it inside a little cinder block building, something like that, in cans somewhere where that's not drawing them.
But when you're feeding all those dogs, these Bigfoots are coming and eating all that dog food. Every night they're going to be there.
You know, this is not a dog bark going on over here. It's not hound dogs. It's not watch dogs. It's somebody's yard dogs. This is a pack that sings together. And it melts and flows right through the woods for a long ways. And I'm sure that's, you know, hey, there's something else wild over there. They come.
No, they hear food. What's wrong with this guy? He can't put two and two together. These are predators.
They're animal lovers, and they don't want to believe something's a predator and wicked like that.
Wow. They're going to find out. I guarantee you, if someone pays attention and gets a hold of these people, they've got some missing wolves.
They don't even know exactly how many they have.
And, oh yeah, that too. And their dog food bill is probably going up, and the dogs are getting skinny. Because if these dogs know that these predators are coming, and if that's all they want is dog food, they're going to leave it. Because they'd rather they eat dog food than eat them.
Well, they're not excitable like we are. You know, they don't think like we are. They don't go, oh my God, there's a Sasquatch.
Yeah, they do.
Go,
this guy isn't.
Yeah, they do.
This guy's an idiot. Hate to say it, but he is.
Like you said, he shouldn't be giving this advice.
No, he shouldn't. He's interpreting what the dogs and the Sasquatch are talking about.
He knows about dogs.
He knows about dogs.
I know about cats, Mama.
I know about cats.
I know about cats.
I know about cats. That's a cat. That's a dog. That's about all he knows.
all over there. They come to see, you know. They're not excitable like we are, you know. They don't think like we are. They don't go, oh my God, there's a Sasquatch. They go, hey, what is that?
No, they don't.
No, they don't. They
No,
saying
they don't.
they're saying that predator has got sharp teeth and it's looking right at me and I can't go anywhere.
And they smelled it and heard it long before you, and they know. Yeah, they know it's a predator. They're not
They
going,
know
hey,
it's a predator.
hey, what is that? You know,
Hey, what is
the
that?
heck?
What in the heck? Is that something wild out there? No, guy. The dogs, the cats,
Them wolves here. Hey,
domesticated.
hey, you seen any of them hogs around
You
here?
seen them? They're
You
hogs
see what happened to them hogs?
and those deer. Man, now this guy's. Oh my goodness.
And they just stare at it, trying to figure out what it is.
No, they're trying to not move. They're trying, and you know, people do that when they see a Bigfoot. They try not to move. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the object that this thing is. I don't want to be food. And these dogs
They know
too.
which one's alpha.
And all animals know, stay still. Maybe it'll pass you by.
Mm-hmm.
Cats know that. Dogs know that.
Babies
Deer know that. Deer will stand real still until you either pull the trigger or you move.
Even little
And,
babies know when something's predatory. It's just
Kids know these
foolish
things are predatory.
grown-ups that have already made up their minds that things are safer than they are.
Once it's come around a few times, they know it's back, and they'll lock in on.
They
Yeah,
know a
they'll
predator.
They'll alert. They're like, these people still have not built me proper security.
Yeah. If I could get out of here, I'm gonna climb this fence.
Hey, mister, you got a shotgun I can borrow?
Can you?
You got us all separated.
Yeah, we're not a pack. We're individuals now. And that thing's gonna jump into that cage with these things. And these dogs are
Very
just gonna get
stressful.
eaten alive.
Those dogs have heard
But
those
it's-
hogs get killed.
Oh yeah. They know that sound of something being ripped apart.
But once it's come around a few times, they know it's back, and they'll lock in on it.
No, they know it's a predator.
But once it's come around a few times, they know it's back, and they'll lock in
He's
on
an
it.
idiot.
But it comes in and out from that direction. That's where those dogs have always stared. Always.
So what are you gonna do about it?
So
And is
why
the
are you
river that
not-
direction or the pond? What's that direction?
He knows it's.
Well, he's getting ready to.
Oh my goodness.
He's about to.
He about to. So the dogs are. The only reason you know that is because the dogs are barking and pointing at that area. It's not like you
Well,
know
he
that.
knows. He knows dogs.
He knows dogs.
knows
He knows
dogs.
cats.
He knows.
He don't know dogs. He knows cats. So the dogs are alerting. The dogs are saying there's a predator coming. It's right there. They're staring at it, and these people are going, "What are you looking at? It's okay." Or they'll try to hush them up, or they call people like this who don't know is going to give their opinion, just like he is here.
They're the ones that interact. These guys on this side, they more or less like, hey, that's on y'all.
Oh, I hate
And
that.
laughing. What is wrong with you?
This guy's an idiot. Oh my goodness. Well, how would that be funny if you're being left out there by yourself, closest to a predator that will rip you apart, pull your insides out, squeeze your insides out, break your neck, break your spine, twist you in half? How's that
We're not
funny?
even playing.
How's that funny?
Sure, Dave. All this is just like, I guess that's going to a drive-in movie, you know. They don't bring popcorn. They just sit out there and watch the show, you know.
It's called
No,
stalking.
No, it's looking for food. It's an opportunist. It's
They're
waiting till
just curious.
it's going to jump that fence, because they know dog food is there. They're going to eat that. And if they can, they're going to take a dog. And if they can, they're going to take the owner.
When they run out of other options,
Yeah.
they're not getting the dogs or the people because they're moral. It's because they have other options right now. But when they run out of the food in the area, or when the food all just wanders off, moves
Whenever they
around.
move. But there used to be hogs and deer, so they didn't have many disturbances. Now the hogs and deer are gone. So now they're having disturbances. These things are moving in. These dogs are multiple. And when these creatures see multiple, they don't mind taking one or two, 1, 3, then 4.
Well, especially when they don't have an accurate count on the dogs.
Yeah.
And there may be a reason she's not saying exactly how many dogs, because with the sanctuary, they may have to have, I don't know what the rules are, or you know what I mean? They may have to specifically say how many they have at any given time, I would think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that ain't that high a number that you can't keep track. They're all in separate pens.
This guy can get on anybody's nerves fast.
Oh, he did.
That's what I'm assuming is going on, or
Assuming.
You know what they say about assuming.
Yeah. But he hasn't given any facts yet. He's given opinions and wrong opinions.
I'm not sure if this will work. This is a predator Bigfoot on somebody's porch, and that poor little dog right there wouldn't even look at it. It's a still shot off of a video camera. And the little dog ended up dying. And this, which way I go? That little dog did not act right ever. It was just always scared, always shaky. It didn't act like a healthy little puppy. You know how they're always kind of rambunctious.
Jumping, playing.
But so that was a predator Bigfoot, a juvenile in a hoodie up on this people's porch. And they'd already had so many different, they're local, they're just right down the road from us. So many bad experiences, including they lose dogs all the time.
Yeah, they lose pets.
And we're talking like pit bulls too.
Yeah. And
The pit bull got chased back to the house because it got hit with a big rock by one of the Bigfoots.
The owner seen that happen.
Yeah, and turned and looked, and there was a big, well, that's in the book also, the big black
DVD.
Bigfoot. Oh, it's in the DVD. I think it's in the book too. I think that story might be in the book. Standing there with a club in its hand, and we also have in the book about weapons and tools.
Taunting him like, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy closed his eyes, bowed his head, started praying.
Yep. And then it was gone. So keep that armor on for sure.
just like I guess us going to a drive-in movie, you know. They
No.
don't bring popcorn. They just sit out there and watch the show.
No.
You know?
They're opportunists. They're waiting. And when you go in, they're going to go get that dog food, or they're going to take a pet, or they're going to go through your trash. They're looking for food. They're not curious.
They're learning about that woman there by herself, and then fortunately that couple moved in.
And they're also waiting for her to come out at 12 midnight.
Scare that other couple out of there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm assuming is going
Oh, that's
Jesus. Keep going.
on, or that's what I figure is going on. I don't like to
figure.
assume, but
well.
You don't like to assume, but you just did, and figuring and assuming might be the same.
Yeah, figuring and assuming are basically the same thing. Figuring means you don't know. That means you're trying to figure it out. You're figuring. Okay, we don't talk to. I couldn't talk to this guy. Real life, I'm like, man, you're an idiot.
I would just bet. And I don't want it to be a Squatch, but if it is, it is.
What do you mean you don't want it to? See, that's what I don't understand. That like I don't want it to be.
What do you want it to be?
What
7
kind of
foot
predator
possum?
do you want it to be? Yeah, 7 foot possum, a human predator out there. What? But the whole thing about not wanting it to be a Squatch is because he wants to believe that they're good. And this is why does everything he can not to think that it's them doing these things.
And he's also not saying predator.
Yeah, yeah.
He has not once said, there's a predator coming through here. There's a couple predators coming through here every night, and they're getting closer.
A person that didn't know about Bigfoot at all, but heard all these different things, just a regular, normal, true man of the woods would go, you got a predator around there.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is no man of the woods.
I don't try to hear Squatch. I just listen, and you hear what you hear.
Well, I mean, I don't really want whatever it is to be here, but I've been out here alone at night for years. Nobody's ever lived on the property but me.
So why are you calling people then?
Yeah, why you need help?
Why do you have people at your house right now? Because if it's no big deal, no problem, why do you have people there? Why have you called somebody?
That's all you do. It's just 47 bowls to fill up.
Yeah.
My husband died 2 years ago, so I'm always out here at night, and I've never been afraid.
Then why you got people there? And you even said
Why
whatever,
did you call that man?
and you said that you and that other person heard that howl and your eyes got big.
Sorry about your husband, but also be honest with yourself. This is scary. You don't like it. It's okay to admit something bad's going on.
Something, and it's getting worse.
And you
At
are
night,
in a vulnerable situation.
Yeah.
Feel pretty safe, so it's never bothered me, whatever it is. I just wish I could see it.
Oh, maybe she is stupider than I thought.
She is stupid. You don't want to see something that will.
Be careful what you wish for, lady.
Yep. These things will show up if you want to see them. And they will eat you. They will kill
She
you.
just
They'll
gave a
rip you
scent
apart.
right there.
Yeah.
Wish I could see it.
And
No, you don't. You don't want to see
That's a
that
perfect
thing.
spot for one to hide right behind it. You got to be careful of stuff like this because they can just sit right behind.
You got to be careful of
Yeah, I was
things
just
like
looking
that.
at that. Yeah.
We call those fat trees. They should be slim as a tree. But that one's
So
got
you would
balls.
check that out and make sure that's not make sure it is a burl.
I would
and
shoot
not
that
something
first.
Right there.
This is a perfect spot
It
for
sure
something to
is.
set.
Easy. You can sit right here in front of it and be the same color of it, and you wouldn't really notice. Just like that one we showed the photo of in the beginning when we showed the photo of what I saw out there at the stickball field. It was just like this around the tree, and I couldn't make out the features. I could just see, it was by a tree, and I could just see a silhouette. It was a fat tree. And it was black, and I couldn't see that well, up close like I could when I zoomed in with the camera. Or, once we got it on the big TV. So you got to be careful. Look really close at stuff like that. You
Yeah.
get to know your trees, the shapes of them, so you know if something's wider than it should be.
the stillness of the Texas woods, the questions remain unanswered. Tracks will fade, calls will echo into memory, and the wolf dogs will keep singing their mournful song through the night. But for Kathy and Jerry, this place has changed, not through fear, but through wonder and mystery. Because sometimes the wild doesn't need to be understood to be respected.
That's enough of that.
That'll do.
That'll do on that.
Let's turn on the light.
You sure don't want to hear any more of that. Well, that guy's opinion. That guy's
Making it like it's a good thing.
making it like you got to respect these
Instead
things.
of warning these people.
These
Those
things that are
cameramen
gonna
don't know
eat
any
you.
better.
They should know.
Frustrating.
They should know.
Blind leading the blind, and Graybeard says. Yeah, let's go back up.
Okay. Oh, is this where Linda was leaving?
Uh-huh.
She
That
said,
was
bye,
good to see her
Ella.
in here tonight.
Lorna said, have a blessed night, Linda. Linda said, thank you, Trucker Lorna. War Chief says, good night, Linda. Kay says, the scary thing about this video is 116,000 people views by people who believe the lies.
Yeah.
It is. That's oh my goodness. War Chief was saying, this man's definitely the
Bloviator in chief.
Bloviator in chief. It is. This guy just, oh my goodness. If I, ooh.
Gonna have to like dig into that channel and find out. A wild man of the woods.
Oh.
That must be his name for Bigfoot. So he has a Bigfoot channel then. What the heck?
Mhm.
Oh, because he definitely ain't no wild man.
Yeah.
Graybeard blind leading the blind. War Chief says, I'm sorry, leader. No, it was perfect though for an example of what we're all dealing with in the narrative that we're trying to push back against. JR says, I've had enough of him. Yes. Or
Yeah.
enough of them.
Them,
Us
yeah.
too.
When they were,
I knew we could make it stretch into 3 hours.
now that
2.5.
18 minutes.
Well,
Usually
we
we don't
started
get
a
past,
little late, so it was
you
like
know,
2 hours.
usually we don't get past 19 minutes.
Yeah, that's about it.
And this whole video was 18 something, and we didn't make it through that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But we were real close to the end.
These guys are giving the wrong information. And if there's anyone out there who watches this and they watch this guy, don't use his information. It's very deadly, the things that he talks about and does and guesses at. He doesn't have a clue to what's going on.
They got to get a handle on it because it's only going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
They've got those dogs trapped in those pens.
There's going to be some pets, dogs
and they
missing.
love them, or they wouldn't be giving them a sanctuary. You know, they care about them. But
They need to check the weight of those dogs too.
uninformed.
Get a good count. But they're probably already missing. They've probably already started some missing because these things have already eaten the wildlife. They're coming up to the house. They're coming up to the trailers. They have free reign because, and you know, when this woman is walking out there at midnight,
No
these
good
things
reason
are
for that.
standing almost right next to her.
Oh,
Because
you know it.
they
They might be on the roof looking down at her.
they'll be translucent, standing right there in the dark with her. She can walk right up next to it, not even know it's there.
There's way more than just one.
Mm.
And they need to clear that patch of woods. And then, like, that's priority. And then start working all around on pushing those blinds back.
And you don't respect the predator.
And getting full.
You don't let a predator know that it can come up to your house anytime it wants to.
No.
Because it will. These people are.
They need full good coverage for those, any of the pets. The horses too, she said, are wandering. Those horses should have some kind of stable that they're in at night that can have them secured. Because these things will pop the head off a horse too. They'll rape a horse.
They'll kill a horse. They'll eat it.
Horses, cows, anything.
Yeah.
Anything. They, they have an
eat.
insatiable appetite.
Yeah.
So
They're going to eat everything.
okay, we'll go ahead and say our prayer. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us gripe for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, this is.
Get the book if anybody knows these people. Get them this book.
Drop it off.
Maybe
to
it'll
them
do some
meditate.
good. I don't know.
I don't know.
Lord, please help the fools.
Mm.
Please help kind-hearted, naive people that don't want to believe and choose to be blind and choose to be deaf. Please give them eyes to see and ears to hear. Truly, Lord, please protect those wolves, those wolf dogs. Please protect all of those people. Just give them wisdom, give them knowledge. Get this book into their hands somehow, or the knowledge somehow, Father, before it's too late. And just thank you for everyone that comes here and joins us in each stream, and the ones that are so patient with us when we're running late or for whatever reason. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for all of the wonderful people you put in our lives. Thank you for the people that do listen and do want to learn. and are already out there training other people. Thank you so much for that, so that it makes our job a little bit easier. Thank you, Lord. We love you. Good night. In
Good night.
Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right.
God bless and good rest.
And War Chief says she needs to use a thermal while going out. Oh, yeah, she sure does. That would change her outlook on what she's doing.
Yeah.
Tracker Lauren saying, everyone have a blessed night. And Kay is saying, amen to that. And with that, we are going to, Great Beard says, amen, and good night to all. And we are going to.
One more. Can we do one more picture of our recent? That's a pretty good photo.
The photo we showed a while ago?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there may be a couple more in there too. But for sure that.
Yeah,
one.
this is a recent photo on a recent track.
And you see the way those markings are, it allows it to hide in that mottled, in with the foliage, the way the sun dapples through on the leaves. It's just got the perfect marks. And that was not tiny.
No. All right. So everyone have a great night again. We'll see y'all very soon. And thank you for going through this with us. Just seeing people get the wrong information kind of irritates a lot of people, especially people who know the truth. And
it's only because we care. We want them to be safe. We want their pets to be safe. We want the people that come visit the sanctuary to be safe, and her too. She had her husband there.
But we don't want people giving the wrong information.
Yeah.
That's going to cost someone else their life, going on something that they're guessing at or assuming or figuring out.
And you don't want to wait until the problem's too much to handle, and you have to just move because you let it when you could have nipped it in the bud early.
Yeah. And they're going to keep coming.
Down some blinds and
they're going to keep coming. Every time they're going to keep coming.
Yeah.
So everyone have a great night, and we'll see y'all again very soon.
Good night.
Are we moving?
So beautiful. Look at that.
Are we moving?
So weird. The effect's not quite the same on film. So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone who's lost in the woods. You'll say a prayer.